Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. So we have to continue Mekka Yuganaddhasutta Visuddhi. Last night we have already introduced some parts. In reality, Mekka and Amekka are two different things, parts and non-parts. Jnana means knowledge. Dasana means vision. Visuddhi means purification. So that means we can know right paths or wrong paths after experiencing impurity or imperfections of insight. This is called Mekka Yuganaddhasutta Visuddhi. That's why here mentioned Samasana and Taruna Utayabhaya. That means when our insight knowledge is not so mature yet, we can experience as many impurity. Then again, 6. Bhattipada Yuganaddhasutta Visuddhi. Bhattipada means practice. Jnana means knowledge. Dasana means vision. Knowledge and vision or practice. Visuddhi means purification. In these parts, there are many insight knowledges. It will be too messy for you. I will not explain in detail. For example, Bhalava Udayabhaya, that means mature rising passion, better knowledge. Also here, Bhanga Jnana, Bhaya Jnana, Arinava Jnana, Nivira Jnana, Mujitu Kamyata Jnana, also Parisankha Jnana, Sankharupekha Jnana, Anuloma Jnana. These are very wide. But the main thing is, if we can overcome impurity, we can experience Patipada Yuganaddhasutta Visuddhi. Then we can also proceed practicing all other insight knowledges. The 7th purification is Yuganaddhasutta Visuddhi. Jnana means knowledge, Dasana means vision, Visuddhi means purification. The purifications of knowledge and vision. In this part, path knowledges, fruition knowledges, and rebellion knowledges, we call Mekka, Phala, and Pachavakkhana. So last night we have already introduced, these are the order of practice. When we are going to practice, we must practice all this order. So when we are going to climb up very high building, if there's a staircase, then we must be very careful in every single step, right? If we slip, we will fall down. We can get injured. Similarly, when we are practicing, we must follow all the steps. If we skip steps, then we can collapse. Then we may have some difficulty. So anyway, the main thing is, last night we have already introduced Samatha-Vipassanā, the insights preceded by Samatha or serenity. So today we have to talk about this one again. This Samatha-Vipassanā is the practice is for Ukkati Tanyu. Here mentioned Ukkati Tanyu, right? Later I have to introduce Ukkati Tanyu also. So it can be found in Bhattipada commentary, page 334, and Nidhi commentary, page 213. Okay, this is the quotation. Because I will not write down all the Pali here. It will be too messy. I have to introduce what's really called Ukkati Tanyu. Okay, here you can see what's really called Ukkati Tanyu. Ukkati Tanyu means one whose Western eye is opened. This is called Ukkati Tanyu. Okay, we can practically approach at the time of the Buddha. You may have known how Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana attained arhatship. So you may have known how Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana attained Sotapanna. Then Venerable Sariputta and Mahamoggallana met Venerable Asuti when they were in Rajagaha. Then he followed, especially Venerable Sariputta asked question, what's your teacher? What kind of teaching do you follow? Then can you teach me what your teacher instructed you? Then Venerable Asuti said very simple stanza. Ye Dhamma hetu papava, tesan hetu dathagato aha. I mean, all the things come from the cause. The Blessed One explained the cause of all the things. Then, actually, it's according to Pali the grammatical constructions, there are only two sentences. If we say a stanza, there must be 4 sentences, 4 lines, we can say. So then, after listening these 2 parts, he had attained Sotapanna. Okay, if we say easier way, Ukati Danyu means they can attain path and fruition knowledge after listening a short discourse. So they also had to follow all these practices, Samatha-Vipassanā. Mostly that kind of arhats or that kind of Sotapanna are very smart and they have very strong perfection. And not only that, they also have very high attainment. Not only arhatship, they also attain psychic power. They also had attained analytical knowledges. That is why that kind of arhats are stronger than other. Anyway, when we talk about Ukati Tanyu, one whose wisdom eyes are open, that means they can attain arhatship or noblehood very easily after listening a short discourse. So that kind of people can be found at the time of the Buddha. In our modern society, we cannot expect. We have read, I myself have read many suttas. I cannot attain arhatship. Right? Similarly, you have listened to many discourses delivered by many different teachers. You cannot attain arhatship. That means we are not that type of person. We are not Ukati Tanyu. Right? So Samatha-Vipassanā also not that easy for everybody. Okay, not only that, we also have to introduce another thing here. Tikkindriya Ukati Tanyu, Mudindriya Ukati Tanyu. We have 2 different parts. Tikkindriya means very sharp, controlling faculties. Mudindriya means very weak, controlling faculties. Okay, here I should introduce controlling faculties. Since all of you are practicing here, we have to understand what really called controlling faculties. So last night in the question and answer, I have already explained something about asset concentration and absorption concentration. Once they ask what's the difference between these 2, I just said, in the asset concentration, you cannot balance controlling faculties well, you may fall into gonga states. Right? This is a very obvious sign of asset concentration. Okay, now here we have 5 controlling faculties. We have to balance 2 different grooves. The first one is Saddha and Panya. Saddha means faith or confidence. Panya means wisdom. Sometimes we have very strong faith that we can believe in anything very easily. We can also say we can have blind faith. So even we talk about Saddha, right? We can, some of them we call Pasara Saddha. That means very easy to believe. So when somebody say there's an arhat, okay, go there. When there is a arhat, another place, go there. Actually, although we see arhats, if we don't practice, not that much useful. If we don't listen, if we don't listen to their discourses or their teaching, it will not that much useful. Of course, seeing an arhat is a wholesome, good thing to do. Right? It's not for prolonging sasana. If we can learn and practice, sure we can prolong sasana. Anyway, the main thing is, sometimes we have very strong saddha. We may believe everything easily. If somebody say, I can read your mind, believe, I can read your parami, also believe. It's very easy to believe. And in this kind of case, we need to have wisdom, analyzing, investigating. So if we have wisdom, we will not believe easily. Right? Even in Singapore, I previously I thought Singaporeans are very smart and very well educated. Nobody can be cheated, right? But now later I also realized Singaporeans also cheated, right? Right? I also realized, oh, not that easy. That means people are very easy to believe. Education is another one. Faith is another one, right? So that means now you must be careful, right? If somebody say they are arhats, if they declare I'm arhat, don't believe. I can read your mind, don't believe. I can read your parami, don't believe. All these are fake. So that kind of thing can happen in many different areas. So when I was in Vietnam also, I talk about this one. Satan and Panya, right? It should be like this. We should balance everything, right? For example, because this in Vienna, I talk about many stories about Vietnamese, right? So actually, I have many other story. Anyway, I'm sure I'll repeat that one lady from Vietnam. One day she showed me her little finger. Then she showed me, I offer this finger to the Buddha. She probably told me. Then I just asked very simple question. What the Buddha will do with this small finger? Right? Offering. Okay, what the Buddha will use? How the Buddha will use this small finger? Uselessly offer. That means faith, saddha, right? Because of saddha she did, but she must consider it's beneficial or not. Yeah, in this case, we have to say saddha and panya. Sometimes we have very strong faith. If we are unwise, we may believe everything easily. We may do many, many things. Faith, that much effort, not that much useful. Again, sometimes we have a lot of wisdom. We can analyze everything very well. Sometimes if we have very strong wisdom, very little saddha, we may have wicked mind. No, we don't have sincerity, right? More wicked minds, dishonest. Also a little bit risky. So we have many excuses because we have a lot of analysis, right? We have many excuses to make mistakes. Anyway, the main thing is we must balance these two, saddha and panya. If saddha is very strong, we may believe everything easily. We may misbelieve something also. If we have very strong panya, we cannot believe easily. We can be wicked. This is not really very good for practice. Another thing is concentration and effort. So sometimes we have good concentration, but we cannot maintain well. Our mind will be blurred. We don't know any particular objects. Sometimes we have very strong efforts, very weak concentration. At the time, the more we struggle, the more we have restlessness. We must balance this too. Then the key player is mindfulness. If we are mindful, if we are aware of every condition, we can balance everything easily. That is why when we talk about tikkhindriya, that means sharp controlling faculties, they can balance all the controlling faculties very well. That's why they can practice well. Mudindriya, okaditanyu, for them, some of the faculty are weak. So one more thing here. If one of the faculty become very strong, and other faculties become very weak, then because of very excessive efforts, for example, then all other factors cannot work properly, then we cannot practice well. Okay, I'll give one example. When you are cooking, if a lot of salt, it will spoil the taste. Similarly, if a lot of wine, it will spoil the taste. If we add a lot of spicy like chili or anything, right? It spoil the food. Similarly, if we add many ginger, many vegetables, then it will spoil the taste. So we must balance everything as you cook in your house. If we can balance well, that means we can practice well. In the case of mudindriya, some of them are strong, some of them are weak. That's why we call mudindriya. Not very sharp, not very strong. So similarly, we have another one. In other words, here mentioned, Satthanusari ukaditanyu, Dhammanusari ukaditanyu, and Satthanusari ukaditanyu. We have two different things here again. So when we talk about these two, it will be a little bit messy also. Because according to the practice, we have different types of contemplation. For the anicca, dukkha, anatta, you know already, right? Anicca, dukkha, anatta, anicca means impermanence, dukkha means suffering, anatta means non-self. So when we say Dhammanusari, that means he attains Sotapanna, Sotapatti Magga, by contemplating as a non-self, anatta. This is called Dhammanusari. For Satthanusari, that means if he could attain Sotapatti Magga by contemplating as anicca, impermanent, this is called Satthanusari. So that means there are some people, when they are contemplating anicca, they attain Sotapanna. There are some meditator, they will contemplate as a dukkha, they will attain Sotapanna. They will contemplate as anatta, then they will attain Sotapanna. According to all these conditions, there can be different types of name. Actually, Dhammanusari, Satthanusari, just given just different name, right? By their contemplation. Okay, briefly. So Ukaditanyu means they have very strong wisdom. That's why they can experience everything well. Another thing is that they have very strong parami in the past. That's why they can attain path and fruition knowledge easily. Okay, 2. Vipanchitanyu, one who needs detailed explanation. Okay, here we should introduce again what's really called Vipanchitanyu. At the time of the Buddha, there are many arhats. After listening a long discourse, they can attain Sotapanna, Sakadagami, or Nagami, or Arhataship. For example, Venerable Sariputta, when he attains Sotapanna, after listening a short discourse, he could attain Sotapanna easily. But when he attains Arhataship, after listening a long discourse, Yuganaddhasutta, from Majjhima Nikaya, he attained Arhataship. So they're called Vipanchitanyu. So the first 1 and 2, we can understand after listening discourse, they can attain path and fruition knowledge. All these types of meditators can be found at the time of the Buddha. Now, modern society, we cannot have. Right? We have read many suttas. We have listened many suttas, long suttas or short suttas or medium suttas or any suttas. Although we have learned many different suttas, we cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. That's why we are not this type of person. Again here, in the case of Vipanchitanyu, we can also find 2 different types, Tikkhindriya and Mudindriya. Some of them have very sharp and strong controlling faculties. They may have very strong saddha and very strong wisdom. They can balance these 2. Similarly, they also have very strong concentration. To maintain their concentration, they also have very strong efforts. They can balance everything well. Their awareness is also very strong and very powerful. Then, for them, we can say Tikindriya. Sometimes some of the faculties are weak. We can say it's a Mudindriya. So this is also Vipanchitanyu. Again, we have a Neya. Neya means one who needs to be instructed. So that means when we say need to be instructed, that means although he has opportunity to listen a short discourse, he cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. Although he has a chance to listen to very long discourse, he cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. So he may need proper teacher, proper guidance. He must practice by himself until he can achieve path and fruition knowledge. In our modern society, we are this kind of people. So we may need instruction from the teacher. Also, we need to practice. Sometimes, although we are practicing, we don't know proper methods. We cannot improve. I remember one question in our previous retreat in Singapore. Some online interview, right? One lady always keep asking, I've been meditating a very long time. I've seen the light very long time. I cannot attain jhana. What to do? The next time, asking the same question. That time, I was asking the same question. Actually, I have already answered. If you wish to attain jhana, you must practice the subject that can lead to jhana. Okay, if we talk about anapanasati, okay, just do anapanasati, you can attain jhana. I have already answered. Next time, asking the same question. Even gives guidance, they didn't understand. Not that easy, right? It's not Neya anymore, right? So anyway, Tikindriya, also Neya also have Tikindriya, Mudindriya. So you also have sharp controlling faculties, weak controlling faculties. Then, according to these conditions, there will be different types of quality, different types of practice, different types of attainment. Then again, Bhattaparama, who can understand only the words. That means he can understand the words of the Buddha. He cannot practice practically. They do not know how to practice or what to practice. This is called Bhattaparama. In modern society, there may be more people like this, right? But sometimes we have different interpretation of the suttas. We get confused also. So if we have proper interpretation, it will be easier. Okay, anyway, we have 4 types of practitioners. 1 and 2 can be found at the time of the Buddha. Now we cannot have this kind of practitioners. 3 and 4 can be found in modern society. So in every single practitioners, we have sharp controlling faculties and weak controlling faculties. Of course, in the case of Bhattaparama, it doesn't mention sharp or weak controlling faculties because they are not practical practitioners. Maybe they may practice whole life, they cannot attain any path of fruition knowledge. Right? So we have to understand 4 different persons. The first one, they can understand or they can attain path and fruition knowledge after listening a short discourse. Second type, after listening to long discourse, they can attain path and fruition knowledge. The third type, after receiving proper guidance, practicing diligently, effectively, they can attain path and fruition knowledge. The last type, although they practice, they cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. We can understand 4 types of practitioner, okay, according to Buddhist tradition. Okay, now again, we have to continue, right? 4 types of practitioners. Among the 4, we have already said only 3 of them can attain path and fruition knowledge. Now here I should introduce something about Ukaditanyu, Vipatitanyu, and Neya. So they have different qualifications. We can also say different types of achievements. We can also say they also have different parami. But now for Ukaditanyu, your vision, mentioned, Ukaditanya has both Suttamaya, learning, and Chintamaya, speculation, because they say thinking. So if we have learned a lot, sometimes people also ask me, right? Do we need to learn Abhidhamma for practicing? Do we need to understand Abhidhamma for meditation? Of course, if we know, it will be easier to practice. Do we need to learn Tipitaka? Of course, we don't need to learn all Tipitaka, right? It will be very messy. But we need to learn many useful sutta for practicing. It's also important, right? For if we are going to study Tipitaka, it will be whole life. Right? Even I myself, I've been in the Bali school more than 10 years. Right? So that means for Singaporean, it's almost impossible, right? 10 years in the monastery, learning many things by heart. Right? It's almost impossible, right? You don't have habit of memorizing. Right? In Myanmar, we have habit of memorizing. Anyway, the main thing is Suttamaya, learning knowledge. If we have learned many different things, it will be supporting cause of our practice. This is also important. Second one, Chintamaya, speculation. We can also say thinking or pondering upon the Dhamma. Sometimes after learning, if we don't think about it very deeply, we can't understand. We also have to learn at the same time. We also have to think how to do and what to do, how to practice, how to apply the Buddha's teaching in our daily life. So if we have Chintamaya and Suttamaya both, then we can be Ukaditanyu. So how Venerable Sariputta become Sotapanna very easily? Okay, I have to review his biography a little bit. When he asks Venerable Assaji, who's your teacher? Whose teaching do you like? Can you teach me can you teach me what your teacher instructed you? Venerable Assaji replied, I'm a newly ordained. I don't know many things about my teacher's words. Okay, although you teach very little things, I can elaborate with many, many thousands of logic. I mean, he can use thousands of methods to understand the Dhamma. Right? So sometimes it's all a little bit difficult to understand. Right? For example, in the case of concept, right? If we analyze more and more messy, more complicated. In the case of ultimate reality, if we analyze, it becomes clearer. So it depends on how we are practicing. Or in his case, he say he can use thousands of methods to understand the teaching. That means he has learned many different theory from many different teachers. But although he has learned a lot of theory, for the previous teacher, Sanjaya, cannot satisfy they cannot satisfy them, they left. So that is why sometimes after learning, we have to also analyze. So in his case, he can analyze many different ways. That's why, although he gives short discourse, he could attain other information knowledge. So that's why he has Suttamaya, learning knowledge, also Chintamaya, thinking or speculation. Then you may also have known the first discourse, Venerable Kovida, right? Attain Sotapanna after listening Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is a little long. Okay, now here we have Vipajitanyu has Suttamaya, but does not have Chintamaya. So he has less thinking, then more knowledge. We can say like that. Then, okay, just go back to the topic. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, for example, Venerable Kovida. The Venerable Kovida attained Sotapanna after listening Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. We can say he's a Vipajitanyu. The Dhammacakka is a little bit long suttas, not a stanza. So in his case, we can understand he's a Suttamaya. his learning knowledge is very strong. For example, in the very beginning of Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha mentioned, right? There are two extreme ways to be avoided. There are middle way, Noble Eightfold Paths. The Buddha also lists out what's on Noble Eightfold Paths. Then again, Buddha also say Four Noble Truths. Then finally, the Buddha also mentioned Sankitena Panchuparana Khanda Dukkha. In brief, factoring and aggregates are suffering, the noble truth of suffering. So that means they have already learned factoring and aggregates. But now when the Buddha explains, then they could understand deeper. They can also follow Buddha's instructions. Then that's why he could attain Sotapanna easily. So this is also important. Sometimes we need to learn. If we have very strong learning knowledge, although we cannot attain path and fruition knowledge in this very life, in the future, it's possible. Right? So the last one, Neya. Neya does not have both Suttamaya and Chintamaya. So that means now modern society, we have very limited knowledge about Buddha's teaching. So for example, we have many Nikaya. Right? Many Nikaya means in English, we have like a long discourses. We call Dika Nikaya, middle long discourses, Majjhima Nikaya. We also have connected discourses, Samudana Nikaya, numerical discourses, Khuddaka Nikaya. Sorry, numerical doesn't mean Anguttara Nikaya. For Khuddaka Nikaya, we can say miscellaneous discourses, or maybe minor discourses, small discourses. It's very few. Like for example, Dhammavada, we can find everywhere. Jataka story, we can find easily. There are many, many things we cannot find in English. Not that easy to understand in English. Even for Myanmar people. There's also Myanmar translation that many people cannot understand. This is all right in Burmese. The reader also can read Burmese, but not that easy because some parts are really, really very difficult. Okay, I think you may have heard from Myanmar people. When they listen to Paul Dhamma talk, they can understand. This is very practical, right? And you also have listened to Paul Dhamma talk in English, right? He is also speaking English. You can also understand English, but you cannot understand why he was talking. Because the way he speaks is just for about practice. He didn't add many other things like us, right? He just talk about practice all the time. That's why not that easy to understand. Anyway, so for about Neya, now modern society, if we don't have Suttamaya, if we don't have Chintamaya, then we can say we are Neya. Then there will be different methods. Okay. So today we have already talked about the practice, right? Especially for about the practitioners today. Then again, we have to move. Then for Initiative Kovida is also mentioned, page 104, right? Mentioned. Okaditenyu is Sukha Patipada Kripa Pinya. Okay, one more thing here I should explain. Sukha Patipada, that means they can practice easily, comfortably, without any difficulty, until they can attain asset concentration. Or in the case of path and fruition knowledge, Anuloma Jnana, they can practice everything smoothly. Kripa Pinya, they can attain jhana very easily. They can also attain path and fruition knowledge very easily. This is Ukaditanyu. So now, in modern society, we're going to expect Ukaditanyu, right? Similarly, Vipajitanyu. Vipajitanyu means Sukha Patipada Danda Pinya or Dukkha Patipada Kripa Pinya. There are two different types. Sukha Patipada means, I have already said before, right? Previous one. Sukha Patipada means they can practice until they can attain asset concentration easily, comfortably, without any difficulty. After that, Danda Binya. After attaining asset concentration, they cannot attain jhana easily. They encounter many difficulty. That means sluggish attainment, we also translate. Right? Easy practice, sluggish attainment. That means the attainment is very slow. It takes very long time to attain jhana or path and fruition knowledge. This is called Danda Binya. Another thing is Dukkha Paribhara Kripa Binya. Dukkha Paribhara means when we are practicing in the very beginning, we encounter a lot of difficulty. Until we attain asset concentration, we encounter many difficulties. Everything is not very smooth. But Kripa Binya, after asset concentration, they can attain jhana very easily. This is called Dukkha Paribhara Kripa Binya. So what about Neya? Neya is Dukkha Paribhara Danda Binya. So now who we are. That is who we are. Right? Dukkha Paribhara means we encounter many difficulty before we experience asset concentration. Now practically how difficult for you to know the breathing. Right? This is a normal called Dukkha Paribhara. Every single improvement, there's a difficulty. Now you try to know breathing. If you can know breathing also, there will be another difficulty. You're going to maintain well. If you can maintain well, so there will be another difficulty. And when you see the lights, another difficulty. When you have rupture, tranquility, there will be another difficulty. So in every single improvement, there's a difficulty. Then after passing all the difficulty, then we may see the nimitta. Then we may attain asset concentration, right? After that also, even last night I have already talked about it. I also misunderstand when I was in the Pali school. Because in the text is very simply explained, right? When we have Patibhaga nimitta, we can attain asset concentration and absorption concentration. It mentioned very simple. That's what I thought. Okay, when we can see Patibhaga nimitta, we can attain asset concentration. We can attain absorption concentration, jhana. But in reality, although we have seen to attain asset concentration, not that easy to attain jhana also. It takes very long time. We have to be very skillful in practicing. That's why all of us have difficulty. That's why Dukkha Paribhara. Danda Binya also the same, right? After asset concentration, it takes time to attain jhana. This is also called Danda Binya. So briefly, so these are the type of person. Okay, I just introduced 3 different types of person here, right? I don't say 4, only 3. Because Brahma is not Vishnavas, right? That's why I didn't mention Brahma. They cannot attain anything. That means only these 3 types of meditator, practitioners can attain. Okay, so when we talk about Yuganaddhasutta, basically, we must understand this group. So we have already mentioned Samatha-Vipassanā, the first type, Ukati Tanyu. Later, we have to introduce another type. Okay, now I also have to introduce another part. Why we have a lot of difficulty, Dukkha Paribhara? Why we have very slow improvement or very slow attainment? Danda Binya. That's also the reason. Okay, now here I have already list out 4 different types. Right? 4 kinds of practice. Dukkha Paribhara, Danda Binya, practicing with difficulty, and sluggish in attainment. 2, Dukkha Paribhara Kripa Binya, practicing with difficulty and swift attainment. Then 3, Sukha Paribhara Danda Binya, easy to practice but sluggish in attainment. 4, Sukha Paribhara Kripa Binya, easy to practice and swift attainment. Also, here I have already listed out in a footnote dimension. Practicing with difficulty means the meditator encounters many difficulties before attaining asset concentration. Sluggish attainment means the meditator cannot easily attain jhana, although he has attained the asset concentration. That means it will take time, right? This is called 4 types of practice here. Okay, now, again, we also have to know other parts. Oh, sorry, no here, right? Okay. Now we also have to introduce many other parts here, especially about the removal of the factors, right? So for example, Arahat or Sotapanna, then they may be Samatha Vipassanā. That means they practice Samatha first, then they go to Vipassana, for example, right? Then in every single steps, we have to remove something. We have to overcome something. Okay, in the case of jhana, the first jhana, we must be able to overcome hindrances. In the case of second jhana, then he must be able to overcome initial application and sustained application, and so on. That actually every single step, there's something to overcome. Okay, now, when we talk about Samatha Vipassanā, they also mention we can remove factors. Last night we have already mentioned, right? That he may attain path and fruition knowledge, then he may remove or he may abandon factors because samyojana. Also, we also mentioned he can also overcome, underlying tendency. He can uproot underlying tendency, right? We have already mentioned last night. Okay, I should introduce you a little bit more about factors today. So after practicing all the things, okay, for example, in the case of Ukajita for Samatha Vipassanā practitioners, it can be Sukha Paribhara Khipapinya, this type, right? So they are very easy to practice, no difficulty in practice until they attain asset concentration. Then they can also attain jhana very easily. So when they continue practicing vipassana also, it can be a little bit easier because they are Sukha Paribhara Khipapinya. Like Venerable Sariputta, you can attain Sotapanna very easily. Like Venerable Kananya, you could attain Sotapanna very easily. So when we talk about Sotapanna or Sakadagami or Anagami, we have to understand different factors. So basically, in our Pali school, we just summarize all the things. Okay, for example, we're trying to memorize, right? Easily. Okay, in the case of samyojana, then we have to know small amount of mental factor. Okay, we have 2 different types. The first one is samyojana according to sutta, samyojana according to abhidhamma. Although we have 2 different types. If we summarize abhidhamma method, so for example, lobha, rosa, moha, also ditthi, mana, vicikiccha, also isa, matriya, also moha. These are called factors we call samyojana. Okay, so if I say, for example, lobha, greed, we have different types of greed. We have attachment to our life, attachment to external things, enjoyable things. Also attachment to immaterial rights, also immaterials mean like Brahma words, right? We have many different types of attachment. Similarly, wrong view. We can have many different wrong view. These are also factors. Okay, in the case of Sotapanna, they were abandoned ditthi. Ditthi means wrong view, especially identity view. Another thing is that if we say wrong view, that means we don't believe in karma. As Buddhists, we believe when we do good things, good action will come. When we do bad things, bad action will come. Bad result will come. This is what we believe as Buddhists. But there are many other religions. Even at the time of the Buddha, there's some religion they also say, no, we don't have any cause. Everything will arise naturally. Everything will perish naturally. They don't accept any cause and effect relationship. In Buddhism, we accept cause-effect relationship. That's why, okay, the main thing is Sotapanna will uproot ditthi. Another thing is the Vicikicca, doubt. Sotapanna will remove or uproot doubt. That means they may not have any doubt about the Buddha and Buddha's quality, and Dhamma's quality, Sangha's quality. They may not have any doubt about their trainings, because they have already experienced many things in their practice. That is why Sotapanna, right, cannot be reborn in the hell, in the fourfold states. And one more thing here, Sotapanna also can make all other defilements weaker. For example, ordinary people will have very strong anger. We may kill living beings, right? But in the case of Sotapanna, although they have anger, they may not kill. They will not make any bad actions. Then, as the ordinary people, when we get angry, then we may scold or we may abuse, for example, right? Very badly, for example. Then this, okay, can be common. But we may also tear a line. For Sotapanna, they will observe 5 precepts strictly. They will not break. We're going to say strictly, they may observe 5 precepts naturally. Not like ordinary people like us, right? We have to force ourselves to follow the rules. But for them, it's easy, natural way. So that means they make all other defilements weaker, all other factors weaker. That's why they're going to be reborn in the hell. Again, for Sakadagami, they don't have any particular defilements removed by their path and fruition knowledge. They make remaining defilements weaker than previous Sotapanna. So they can also make weaker, right? That means they are going to figure their defilements become very weak, that they're going to make any problem in the community. Again, for Sakadagami, so when they attain Sakadagami, they will remove sensual desire. For example, Visakha, she was Sotapanna. Since she was 77 years old, she got married. Just Sotapanna. She has sensual desire. But we have one of the laymen, Chitta, one of the laymen. He is also layman. He attained Anagami. He does not live with his family. That means Anagami can uproot sensual desire. Not only that, Anagami also can uproot anger. We can say dosa. We should say dosa. If we say anger, you may misunderstand, right? We should say dosa. Anagami also can uproot dosa, means no worry, no anxiety, no sorrow, no grief, then no despair. That means more comfortable life. And this is called dosa. Another thing is for arhats. So as Anagami, okay, one more thing I have to say, right? Mana, pride, arrogance. Anagami still have that kind of mana. Okay, here I have to introduce you 2 different types of mana. That means pride or arrogance, right? Conceit also we use in English. We have 2 different types. The first one is, although we have mana, we still accept the truth. That means our mana is not so strong that we can accept the truth. Sometimes our manas become very strong and powerful. We don't accept the truth. So for Sotapanna, Sakadagami and Anagami, although they have mana, they will accept the truth. That means their mana is not so strong that they may not reject the truth, right? That means their mana is weaker than ordinary people. Okay, another thing. Sotapanna, Sakaragami, Anagami, they have attachment to the life. That's why they have to be reborn in future existences. And for arhats, they don't have any attachment to any life. That's why they cannot be reborn anymore. Okay, if we summarize, Sotapanna can overcome ditthi and vicikiccha, wrong view, and then doubt. Sakadami cannot uproot any particular defilements, but it make other defilements weaker. Anagami can uproot kamaraga, sensual desire, and dosa. Arhat can uproot all types of defilements, all types of underlying tendency. So okay, one more thing. Now we have to understand about the Arhat, right? Although Arhat can uproot all types of defilements, but they may still have the habit. If they have habit of like using abusive words in the past, as a lay person, for example, right, whole life, then when they grow old, they ordain, they attain headship, the whole life they are using abusive words easily. Then they may use abusive words after attaining headship, but they don't have anger, they don't have hatred to anybody. Because of habit, they may speak. So that kind of thing can happen for arhats. Only the Buddha can uproot all types of defilements and also habit and hobby. Okay, this is the Buddha's power. Okay. Now, actually, we have to move Vipassana Bogen Gamma only 15 minutes, right? And now, Vipassana Bogen Gamma means the noble one who can attain his noblehood by practicing pure Vipassana vehicle. So there are some arhats. They practice Vipassana until they can attain arhatship. After that, they practice Samatha. It also can be like that. So, okay, one more thing. When we talk about pure Vipassana vehicle, it will be a little bit messy for you also. The here mentioned, in the sub-commentary, it mentioned Vipassana Bhupangaman Samatam Bhaveti Ambana Vipassana Yanikasa Vasena Hotan Sotan Hota Pantu Badana Kande Anichanti Vipassati. Dimension. Vipassana Bhupangaman Samatam Bhaveti means it is said by way of pure Vipassana vehicle, not attaining or not accomplishing any of Samatha apostates, and he contemplates the five-clinging aggregate as impermanent and so on, so forth. So that means he didn't attain any jhana. Okay, one more thing. Maybe later I will also have to introduce many other things in this part. The main thing is, if we talk about jhana, we have already listed out many objects about the jhana. Among the list, in the list I have mentioned before, you're going to find the four-element meditation because it cannot change jhana. It can change just as a concentration. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, I should talk about Satisupachara. Okay. Maybe one more thing here, right? Vipassana Bhupangamma, right? In this context, Asambhaditawa means not achieving any jhana attainments. If we interpret that is not practicing samatha, that will contradict to purifications of mind. It will mislead the reader into understanding that people can practice vipassana without purifications of the mind. So, in the order of practice, I mentioned purifications of the mind. Then I mentioned asset concentration and absorption concentration. These two are the purifications of the mind. Now here, Satisupachara. there's asset concentration in every single jhana. In the first jhana also, there's asset concentration. In the second jhana also, we have asset concentration. The third jhana also, we have asset concentration in every single jhana, including immaterial jhana. So there are many meditation subjects that cannot lead to the jhana, such as descendant four elements, but we can attain asset concentration as similarity. Similarity means, okay, for example, I would say neighborhood concentration, right? Sometimes they also translate as a neighborhood concentration. Now here, two things are very close. We can say neighborhoods. If this one is not here, we cannot say neighborhoods, right? So in the case of asset concentration, we call upachara. Upachara means neighborhoods. It's very close to jhana. That's what we call upachara, neighborhood concentration. But in the case of four elements, they cannot attain jhana. The hunger is close to jhana. We just talk about the quality of concentration. So by practicing four elements, the concentration quality is strong enough, similar to asset concentration. That's what we call asset concentration. We call satisupachara, the similarity. Okay. Now again, when we talk about okay, right? So we must be careful about two orders: Tesanakama, the order of teaching, and Patipadikama, the order of practice. So in every single sutta, so for example, when you go and read Ratana Sutta, on daily chant, you may have already read, right? Metta Sutta, in your daily chant, right? Metta Sutta. So this is called Desanakama, the order of teaching. It's also for special people. According to the listener's condition, Buddha explains. Some of them are not that easy for beginners. Even when you study Metta Sutta, it will be difficult for you. For example, Karaniya Mata Kusalena. Karaniya, opposite to Karaniya, we also have Akaraniya. Karaniya means something to do. That means worthy of doing something. This is called Karaniya. Akaraniya means what we should not do. This is called Akaraniya. Anyway, the main thing is, even it's very simple instructions, not that easy to understand, right? This is the order of teaching. Atakusala means skill and beneficial. So we must be skillful in doing beneficial things. So contrary to that, we can also say Anattakusala, skill in unbeneficial things. Right? So we must be skillful in beneficial things. We must not be skillful in unbeneficial things. This is the way we have to understand the suttas. Okay, that means this is the order of teaching. It doesn't mean we have to do beneficial things first. After that, we have to learn unbeneficial things, right? It can be different order. We may have different practice, different environments, different background. We may have different knowledge. So it doesn't mean we have to follow all the things. Karaniya should be first. Then after that, learn Akaraniya. Similarly, Attakusala should be first, then learn Anattakusala, and not like this. This is the order of teaching, not the order of practice. Okay, when we talk about Patipadikama, the order of practice, I have mentioned 7 purification. These are the order of practice. We have to do all this purification one by one, step by step. This is called Patipadikama. Okay, now again, Vipassana Bhubankama. I should introduce this one. Maybe today, this will be the last slide for today, right? So Vipassana Bhikkhika practitioner must start with discerning materialities. Because there is some argument about it. That's why I just give quotation from different texts. Tattha Bhagava Rupakamatthana Gatendo Sankhepa Manasikara Vasenava Vittara Manasikara Vasenava Chatu Dhatu Avatana Katesi. Dimension, Mula Panasa, commentary, time commentary, book 1, page 280, Itihodaka commentary, page 179, Vivenka commentary, page 252. These are the source reference from 3 different commentary. Anyway, here I should introduce a little bit about the Pali. Tata Bhagava Rupakamatanang Gachanto. That means when the Buddha was talking about meditation on materiality, that means Rupa meditation, thinking about Manasikara Vasenawa, Uttara Manasikara Vasenawa, Tadu Dadu Vavatana Gatesi. That means the Buddha explained 4 element meditations in brief or in detail. So that means, okay, here also mentioned similar statement can be found in Sakapanya Sutta, Atthakatha, that means from Dika Nikaya. But a little bit slightly different Pali, that's why I didn't write down here, it will be too messy. The main thing is, whenever the Buddha is going to teach pure Vipassana vehicle, pure Vipassana practice, also as introductions to materiality, we must start with 4 element meditation. This is common. So when we practice 4 element meditation, we can attain asset concentration. This also can be the foundations of Vipassana. But today I cannot explain 4 element meditation, right? Maybe tomorrow I should talk about 4 element meditation a little more in detail. Now when the Blessed One was going to teach, okay, discerning materialities, he taught discerning the 4 elements in brief, as taught in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta. Then in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, the Buddha mentioned 4 element methods in brief. Then again, in detail, as taught in Rahulawada Sutta and Dhatu Vibhanga. So when the Buddha talk about 4 elements to Venerable Rahula, you know Rahula already, right? The Buddha's only son. So Venerable Rahula hadn't attained any path and fruition knowledge until he became a bhikkhu. When he was newly ordained, and the Buddha talk about this sutta, talk about 4 elements method in detail. In detail means Buddha also mentioned 42 body parts. But sometimes people are very familiar with 32 body parts, right? They are not very familiar with 42 body parts. Then they also ask, where can we find 42 body parts? They also think that it's invented by Paul Serra, right? This Paul Serra create this kind of methods. Actually, it's not. It's from Rahulawada Sutta and Dhatu Vibhanga. This is from Pali Canon, not from commentary, right? Anyway, the main thing is, when we talk about pure Vipassana vehicle, it's not that simple and easy as we understand. So that means now many traditions, they make all the things easier, right? The body is a rupa, mind is a nama rupa, very easy. But in the practical practice, in the instruction, in the Pali canons or in the commentary, is not that simple. Okay, so briefly, when we talk about Samatha-Vipassanā Vipassana, that means Samatha is first, after that going to Vipassana. This is a very easier way for everybody. But when we are going to practice Sakama Vipassana Bhopengama Samatha, right? This means we have to practice Vipassana first, after that come to Samatha. Mostly some Arhat and some Anagami, after attaining Anagami or after attaining Arhatship, they also practice Vipassana, Samatha, until they can attain a attainment. The why they practice like that? Although they have attained Anagami Arhatship, they cannot enter into the cessation attainment. We call in Bali Nirodha Samapatti. Patti. To experience or to enter into that kind of attainment, they practice samatha until they can attain eight attainment. After that, they can enter into that kind of cessation attainment. This kind of thing also happened at the time of the Buddha. And one more thing, there are some arhats. Although they have attained arhatship, they also learn Buddha's teaching, Tipitaka. But they wish to know. They wish to maintain Buddha's teaching. Similarly, they also practice samatha. They wish to maintain the practice. So, one more thing. As a Buddhist, we need to maintain Buddha's teaching. Right? So now, many of tradition disappear. Even, okay, now, for example, we have never seen somebody flying on the sky, right? We cannot see any people flying on the sky in non-moral society. Why? Ancient time, many people like that. Now, why? Right? Disappear. If they maintain all the traditions, writing down or something, it will be easier. For example, we can go in and study in Visuddhimagga. Many of parts are missing. Although we understand the Pali, there's no complete one. That means Visuddhimagga will be, okay, this complete version for the reader, right? But many parts are missing. Even last night I already talked about Anapanasati. Yesterday also, right? In the case of Anapanasati, Samhita is the best. It's better than Visuddhimagga. I have said yesterday, right? Similarly, in the case of practice, there are many parts we're going to find. Many missing parts. So if we can maintain well, sure, there will be somebody who can fly on the sky. Right? So we also need special power, special quality to achieve that kind of attainment. We also need special knowledge to achieve all these kind of attainments. If somebody has already experienced all the attainments, it will be easier. We can follow the way he practices because of experience, right? Anyway, that means sometimes we also have to maintain Buddha teaching by practicing, also by learning together. Okay, so now, today, I will stop here, right? So as you have already known, pure Vipassana Bhikkhika is not that simple. We have to start from 4 elements. Actually, there are many other steps we have to know. Okay, tomorrow I will continue, right? Then as a conclusion, we have to do 3 things in Buddha teaching, right? The first one is observing or undertaking precepts. We call sila, the first training. After we also need samadhi, concentration. So why we need concentration? If we have concentration, we can know the ultimate reality. We can know things as they really are. Then the last one, we also have to practice vipassana, wisdom. So sila, samadhi, and panya, 3 trainings. So then we have to train ourselves to experience all these things. It will be for prolonging of Buddha's teaching. It also can be for our own benefits, for our own welfare, right? We all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and we all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering.
When he start meditates, the body will sweat a lot. When the mind calm down, he will fall into sleepiness. So he would like to ask how to adjust.
Swaying, right? Swaying.
Sweating.
Sweat, okay. Okay, for one, the sweat is come from temperature, right? We're going to say, why is it? Another thing is like a fall asleep. And mostly when your effort become very weak, you may fall asleep easily. This is also one of the reasons. Another thing is if you don't have enough sleep at night, you may fall asleep. Okay? So you also have to check what kind of food you eat also. Sometimes it's caused by food.
What are the ways to check a person's fruition attainment?
Actually, if we have attained path of fruition knowledge, we have revealed knowledge. With the revealed knowledge, we can check path and fruition knowledge, including defilements, or abandoned defilements or remaining defilements, including Nibbana, right? So, okay, one more thing for all the answer, right? That means fruition knowledge can be known by Pajakkana Jnana, that means revealed knowledge. Similarly, past also can be known by revealed knowledge. Then again, Nibbana also can be known by revealed knowledge. Then abandoned defilements can be known by revealed knowledge. Also, remaining defilements also can be known by revealed knowledge. Okay, 5 things, right? So here in this case, to check somebody's fruition, it must be revealed knowledge. Okay?
If a person attain anagami, can he stay as a lay person life in the modern world?
Okay. It's possible, I think. Right? Even at the time of the Buddha, there are many lay persons, they can survive in their life. Similarly, in modern society, also they may find a way to survive as a lay person, right? It's possible, I think. Okay? Next one.
There are 2 questions. First, if a meditator, he can take anicca, dukkha, or anatta as his object, why he cannot say he has already removed ditti?
Okay, one more thing, right? In this case, maybe removing ditti can be 2 different parts. The first one is insight knowledges. We can also overcome wrong view, but it's not uprooted. When we can attain Sotapanna, it will be uprooted. Then without any remainder, it will be 2 different things, right? True.
Second question, in the 16 jnana, these 16 jnana arise one after another, and in between there will be certain durations. For example, after one jnana arises, before the second jnana arises, it may separate between a few hours or a few days, or it will be just a few moments. This 16 jnana will subsequently continuously arise.
Actually, okay, for example, like Namarupa Bodhicitta Jnana, it will take time for ordinary people, Namada society, whether we have to discern all types of nama, all types of rupas. Similarly, Paccapparika Jnana, cause of pre-intent knowledge, it will take time. Another thing is like a Samasana Jnana, also it will take time. We have many different ways of Samasana, right? Then another thing is like Uttavaya Jnana. We may encounter many difficulties, especially impurity. This also can take time. After overcoming many impurity, like a mature insight knowledge, it can be faster. It can be within 1 sitting. It can be shorter than 1 hour, maybe shorter than half an hour. Maybe it can be only within a few minutes, a few seconds. It depends on their practice and how strong their insight knowledge. So it can be different. For example, from Bhanganyana to path and fruition knowledge, it can be within short time, a few seconds is also possible, right? It depends on their quality and their ability.
Madam Seattle, today after listening to Seattle talk saying that we are all dukkha patipada, tanda vinya, then the mind become more hurried because he is now 50 years old, but still have not attained anything. At the same time, he has to be busy with daily work. But he has a wish to attain Nibbana. So what should he do? He got more hurried, anxious.
Actually, we have to accept the truth, right? We have to accept the truth. Another thing is, if we are in a hurry also, just, right, practice normally. If you are in a hurry, you will put extra efforts, more resistance will come, right? Okay, the main thing is, you can be in a hurry in daily life, in your ane. When meditating, don't be in a hurry. If you are in a hurry, you have to put extra efforts. Then it will be more messy, more difficult, right? So just do what you can do now. Don't think about very far. Right? Don't think about Nibbana now. Think about breathing more. It will be easier, more practical. Okay.
This question. Wandami Siado, from page 12, 4 types of practitioners. Can I say like this? All meditators who practice from Pa'ao, we are Neya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, not only from Paodoya, everywhere Neya. Right? Okay.
Wandami Siado, thank you for your teaching. May I ask, during meditation, I saw a small white shining pearl that appears and disappears many times. It has a dark hollow around it. May I ask if I have seen the nimitta? Sadhu,
Okay,
sadhu.
so if like this, then we can also say it's a kind of nimitta. But now in current situation, don't interest in it too much. If you think of it too much, it will change a lot. Now, as we mentioned here, right? It will appear and disappear many times. That means not so stable yet. More focus on the breathing. It will be easier for you. Okay?
Vandami Siado, Sukapati Pada Kipa Vinya. According to English explanation, it is easy to practice with swift attainment. So the meaning of attainment here means attainment of the Magga or the attainments from Upachara Samadhi to Jhana.
Okay, it can be either one. It can be Samatha-Vipassanā both. For example, there are some practitioners, they will be very easy to practice up to Anuloma Jnana without any difficulty. They can also attain path traditionally very easily. In this, we can say Sukha Paripada Kipa Vinya. I've already given the example of Venerable Sariputta, right? So listening a short discourse, you could attain the Sotapanna very easily. In this case, we can say Kipa Vinya, Sukha Paripada Kipa Vinya.
Vandami Siado, what is Suttamaya? What is Chintamaya?
Actually, later I will explain all the Suttamaya and Chintamaya. It will be very messy also, right? Suttamaya means learning, right? Okay, I will say very briefly. If we say Suttamaya, okay, what will be the obstacle? We have to know. Then also, what are the way to overcome it? We have to know. This is called learning. Okay? Learning. After that, thinking. Then, for example, okay, we know some text, but when we encounter difficulty, which method should we use? Right? We have no, for example, okay, practically I would say anger. When we get angry, there are many ways to overcome anger. But when we really get angry, we have to choose which one is the most suitable. The most suitable for us now. Right? This is called Chintamaya. You must know how to pick up which one you should use. Right? So that means learning and then practicing both. Okay? In the case Suttamaya and Chintamaya. Next one.
Vandami Siado, according to Pao methods of teaching, can it be used for Koenga system? These two types of system, what is the difference between these two types of system of meditation?
Okay. Not only, okay, we should not talk about going out or any other tradition, right? We should say very simple way. In many other traditions, they scan their body. They have to know everything in their body, right? This is the way they practice. But in Pao Doya, we just follow the text. For example, we're not going to do anapanasati, okay, focus only on the nostril. When you are going to practice 32 body parts, you must know all the body parts, all over the body. Then when you are going to do 4 elements, it must be all over the body. When you are going to practice white kasina, okay, you must visualize white kasina, right? It depends on what Buddha said. We just ask them to do exactly. It can be internal, it can be external. It can be from our body. It also can be outside our body, right? It depends on the instructions given by the Buddha. We ask them to follow. So in many traditions, they scan their body, they try to experience all over the body. Then they relax well, right? Then finally they also encounter many difficulties. Because the main thing is, in modern society, the many traditions, they just invent new ways, new methods They don't approach old one. We follow old version. Now monastery, they just follow new version. Okay?
Vandamisiado, she has anemia, means she has not enough blood in the body, anemia. So in afternoon, at night, can he mix warm water with mulberry juice? Would they consider breaking the precept of Vikala Bhojana?
Mulberry juice mean what kind of is it?
Mulberry
Fruit, a kind of fruits.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Huh?
So second part of the question, at home, he as a lay person, he follow 8 precepts. But just now, according to Pandey's talks, even the Anagami will even the Sotapanna will automatically follow the 5 precepts. So as Sotapanna only follow 5 precepts, but he follow 8 precepts, would they be too greedy?
Okay. So but the first one, right? Warm water and hot water, 2 different things, right? Okay. In the case of the juice, evening juice, we must not cook. For example, vegetable, just freshly squeeze. We may mess up with warm water or lukewarm water is allowable to drink, right? If we cook, it's not allowable. In the case of the juice, evening juice is okay, not really big problem for you. Another thing is Sotapanna, right? They naturally mean, okay, I have already talked about before, right? No, not here. For example, we have samuchita. Then they don't have any intention to kill any living beings naturally. But for you, you may have intention to kill. You have to hide your desire. You have to subside your desire, oppress your desire, right? Forcefully. For them, it's natural. They don't have that kind of desire to kill or to steal anything. Okay, this is the natural way. That's why we're going to say you are greedy, right? So Anagami will take 10 precepts. We should try 10 precepts also. Right?
Bhante mentioned there are a few suttas in the canon which the practitioner must know. Can Bhante name a few, please? Sadhu.
A few suttas in the canon? That means practitioner should know. Okay, one more. And the previous answer, right? Okay, for example, when we are going to practice, we should know Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta thoroughly. Okay, this is one thing, right? Okay, similarly, Anatta-Lakkhana Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, they are about practice. We should know thoroughly. In detail is better. Then, okay, we have another part. In Samutta Nikaya, we have Nidana-Vagga Samyutta. It mentions many things about divinity origination. We should learn this part also. Then when we talk about 5 brigades, we also have Khandha-Vagga Samyutta in Samutta Nikaya, we should learn. Similarly, when we talk about the bases, Salarana Samyutta in Samutta Nikaya, we can also learn. So, okay, another thing, when we are going to talk about 7 enlightenment factors or Noble Eightfold Paths, right? There are many things about it in Samutta Nikaya. We can also learn all the things. So compared to Digha Nikaya, it will be shorter. That's why it can be many different pieces of suttas. But anyway, after learning, we can get some information, right? So if you can learn together with the commentary and the sub-commentary, it will be more beneficial. Okay, I will say, one time I have already asked Paul Serra how he learned to make all these systematic practice. He just said, he studied Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, his commentary and sub-commentary. After that, he compared with Visuddhimagga and Amrita-Samhita-Magga. So 3 together. He also studied Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, but if something missing in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, go and check in Visuddhimagga and Amrita-Samhita-Magga. Then in detail, he could learn finally he could know how to practice. Right? So the main thing is, for English reader, you may have Visuddhimagga. But some of part of Visuddhimagga are just for idea, just for explanation. Some part of Visuddhimagga are for practicing, practical practicing. You have to try, right? Similarly, Parisammittamagga. Then some parts are for knowledge, explanation, and many parts are for practical practice. So when we are going to learn, we can also say some of them are to avoid, some of them are to do. For example, in Anapanasati, according to Parisammittamagga, they are mentioned impurity of Anapanasati. So that means the first 6 group, the first 6, the second 6, the third 6. So 6 multiplied by 3, right? 18. 18 impurity of Anapanasati mentioned in Parisammittamagga. These are not to do. So there are some part we have to follow to do. Also mentioned in Parisammittamagga, what we should do in Anapanasati. Okay? So actually we must learn what to do, what not to do in meditation. That it will be beneficial for the practitioners. Okay? So if we list out so that it will be endless, and just say roughly. Okay? Then next one.
Sayadaw, so is it still possible to attain arahantship nowadays?
It's possible.
Possible.
As long as there's a practitioner, it's possible to attain arahantship.
Sayadaw, is woman possible to attain arahantship nowadays? Woman.
Huh? Woman.
Woman, huh?
Okay, actually, according to Buddha's teaching, you have already known, right? As long as there's a practitioners, there is attainment. We're going to say man or woman, everybody, it depends on parami and in practice, right? It's possible. Okay? No more question? Okay, very easy, huh? I know it's very heavy topic for you also. Huh? Yata vataja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodantu sabbe buddha numodantu sabbe satta numodantu sabba sambati siriya idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame punyam asavakaya vaham hotu idame punyam nibbanasa pachayo hotu mama punya bhagam sabbasatanam bhajami te sabbe me samam punya bhagam lavanju sadhu sadhu sadhu